Welcome back to the DR Pulse, where we stay on top of trends, brands, marketing, sales, and business strategies that are shaping the world. And today we're going to be taking a look at the $13 billion collapse of PopMart, the toy company behind Labubu, the little rabbit-eared collectible that went from cult status to cultural meltdown. So how did a single character take PopMart to global dominance and then trigger its downfall? Stay with us because by the end we'll uncover what every brand can take away from PopMart's collapse. It all started with a quirky little figure, Labubu, a mischievous rabbit-eared creature with a crooked smile and wild fur. Created by Thai artist K Sing Lung, Labubu wasn't initially a mainstream hit. It lived in the margins of indie art and designer toy circles. But when PopMart saw its potential, everything changed. They didn't just license a character, they engineered a cultural icon. PopMart built anticipation with calculated scarcity, blind box drops, limited editions, and surprise chases that kept collectors coming back. They weaponized FOMO like a Silicon Valley growth hack, and it worked. Then came the celebrity effect. Lisa from Blackpink was spotted with Labubu merch. David Beckham was seen unboxing it with his kids. Suddenly, Labubu wasn't just a niche collectible anymore. It became aspirational. And when cultural capital meets consumerism, demand skyrockets. Prices on resale platforms exploded, with some Labubu variants flipping for 5 to 10x retail. PopMart storefronts saw overnight lines, scalpers began buying bulk boxes, and TikTok and Zhongshu, China's Instagram meets Pinterest, exploded with unboxing content and which Labubu are you trend videos. But this wasn't just about toys anymore. It was about status, it was about identity signaling. Labubu represented a shift in Gen Z and millennial consumer behavior where collectability meets aesthetics. And the toy is just the surface level of a deeper social flex. Think Supreme, but in vinyl figure form. And while PopMart had other IPs, it was Labubu that stole the show, driving over 30% of merchandise revenue at its peak. In 2024 alone, PopMart's stocks surged over 180% year to date, propelled by viral demand and international expansion into Southeast Asia, Europe, and North America. For a brief moment, Labubu wasn't just a toy, it was a movement. A market force, a mirror of how hype culture can drive exponential growth when it taps into emotion, identity, and scarcity. But as we'll see next, when a brand rides a single wave too high, the crash comes fast and unforgiving. But Labubu wasn't just a cute collectible, it became a cultural currency. PopMart understood that to turn a toy brand into a market darling, you need more than just demand, you need a narrative. One that intersects with cultural moments, fashion trends, and digital communities. What PopMart did with Labubu was nothing short of genius. They didn't just sell products, they sold an experience, a lifestyle, a visual identity. With a single figure, PopMart established itself as more than just a toy company. It became a fashion statement, a collectible art form, and, in many ways, a luxury brand for a younger digital-savvy audience. Labubu, often seen in collaboration with streetwear brands, appeared in online editorials, fashion influencer posts, and even red carpets. The toy transcended its category and became symptomatic of a generation's cultural shift, where luxury wasn't just about traditional markers like designer clothes or even expensive cars, but about owning something unique, quirky, and disruptive. The game changer here was the digital revolution. PopMart didn't rely on traditional marketing channels. Instead, they mastered social media virality. TikTok was flooded with dance challenge videos, unboxing videos featuring Labubu, while Instagram influencers showcased their collection like prized possessions on display. As Labubu surged in popularity, so did PopMart's stock. The company wasn't just riding the wave, they were steering it. By late 2024, PopMart's market capitalization hit nearly $20 billion, fueled by exponential growth in both physical retail stores and a thriving e-commerce presence in markets globally. Every month, new exclusive figures dropped, limited edition collaborations with artists, celebrities, and even fashion houses that kept the buzz alive. But here's the issue. PopMart wasn't just making money off the toy itself. They were making money off the hype. And as we'll all see, it's a model that doesn't exactly always hold up. Because while the rise was fast and beautiful, the question remained, was this hype sustainable, or was the brand building on a bubble that was bound to burst? Here is the uncomfortable truth about PopMart's strategy. Their empire was built on a very fragile foundation. The core of their business was scarcity, celebrity endorsements, and even hype-driven growth. But these aren't long-term strategies. They're the rocket fuel that launches you into the stratosphere, but they don't build the lasting infrastructure necessary for brands to endure. So, let's break it down. Number 1. No long-term storytelling. PopMart's model relied on constant novelty. Every figure drop was an event, an exclusive surprise that kept the fans coming back. But this approach neglected one critical aspect of brand longevity: storytelling. Brands like Disney or Lego aren't just selling products, they're selling narratives that span years and generations. You don't just buy a Mickey Mouse plush because it's cute, you buy into the entire Disney universe. The power of storytelling turns a product into an experience, making it memorable and emotionally resonant. The problem that PopMart had, however, is they didn't invest in creating a deeper narrative. Labubu, for example, had no expansive story arcs and there was no engaging lore that could evolve over time. Without that foundational story, the toy felt like a fleeting trend rather than a brand with depth. Number 2, no diversification across cultural IP. PopMart's entire business relied on Labubu. So they introduced other IPs like Molly, Pucky, and Dimu, but none had that same instant cultural impact. They were simply variations of the same formula: cute, collectible, limited run figures. PopMart never diversified enough across broader cultural interests. Compare this to the world's most powerful brands, like Marvel for example. They built their empire on diverse, interconnected characters and worlds. Even when one superhero fades, there's another one ready to take its place. PopMart was too reliant on Labubu, and when demand started to cool, there weren't enough other stars in their lineup to carry the load. Number 3, lack of consistency beyond one craze. Labubu was red hot for a moment, but what happens when the next cultural craze comes along? PopMart didn't establish itself as a brand that could be consistent across multiple fan bases, communities, and even genres. The hype machine worked well for a while, but sustainability requires more than just a flash in the pan. Without diversification and foundational storytelling, PopMart was left exposed when the market shifted. And that's exactly what happened. By 2025, the cracks in PopMart's foundation began to show. Like any trend-based company, PopMart's entire business was built on the constant reinvention of hype. But when that hype plateaued, or worse, began to fade, things unraveled quickly. Firstly, the secondary market where collectors would resell rare Labubu figures had been the lifeblood of PopMart's inflated value. When Labubu first launched, these figures were trading at multiples of the retail price. $100 figures were going for about $500 or more on resale platforms. But as the demand began to plateau, so did the secondary market. By mid-2025, prices for exclusive Labubu figures were down 50 or 60%, and in some cases even 75%. PopMart attempted to replicate the Labubu formula with other characters from their lineup, but none generated the same level of excitement. The market had become saturated with collector fatigue, and consumers were no longer racing to grab the next drop. These new IPs underperformed in the marketplace, with sales figures falling short of expectations, and investors were growing increasingly anxious. PopMart's stock was riding high at 23x earnings, a valuation that was well beyond reasonable. For comparison, most companies in the toy and collectible sector traded around 15x earnings. The stock had become overvalued, and when the hype started to fade, investors took note. With the brand losing momentum, confidence crumbled, and the sell-off began. The once promising rise turned into a ticking clock, and when the formula broke, it broke hard. The collapse of PopMart's $13 billion valuation was swift and brutal. In just a few months, the company went from being a market darling to a case study in what happens when hype-driven businesses fail. The brand, once considered a potential luxury juggernaut, was now facing a major crisis of confidence. When hype is your only business model, your brand is only as strong as the next big trend. And when that trend fades, so does your brand. The collapse was fast because it was built on nothing but momentum and hype. So when the momentum stopped, the entire structure came crumbling down. It may drive immediate attention, but it should never be the foundation on which your brand sits. Sustainability requires deep, meaningful connections with your audience. While PopMart cashed in on short-term virality, it failed to establish a brand narrative that could survive after the hype fades. Brands need to craft stories that extend beyond the viral moment and resonate for years. PopMart's downfall showed that relying on a single product, influencer, or even platform is risky. Brands need to diversify their cultural influence, spread across various IPs, campaigns, and social media platforms. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Diversification stabilizes your brand when a single craze fades. PopMart was a case study in fragility. It succeeded by riding a trend, but when the trend passed, so did its growth. Building resilience means creating a brand that remains desirable even after the buzz dies. A brand's staying power is one that has layered value, a combination of emotional connection, product diversity, and narrative richness. If your strategy is based on a single character, trend, or channel, your brand is only as strong as the trend that you are currently riding. Labubu Mania showed us just how powerful cultural leverage can be in driving explosive growth, but also how fragile hype-driven brands can be as well. As agencies and brands, the takeaway is simple. Hype can spark attention, but only strategy builds endurance. So the next time you see a brand like PopMart rise overnight, just remember their $13 billion crash. Will they bounce back, or is Labubu's bubble finally burst for good? We'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. Share your perspective, and don't forget to subscribe to the DR Pulse, where we'll have more trend breakdowns like this.